Hey, so I have just bought the True Kit 330 Explorer, and I bought it because it's very lightweight, and I thought it would be the perfect tender for this cat here, because this cat is all about speed and I'm trying to keep her very light, so I'm trying to put the lightest possible tender on the back, but one that's still the most practical. And I just think this is a great piece of kit. It's very lightweight, it seems very well made. So far I've only had it for a month, so the jury's a little bit out still. It's definitely a couple of things, early observations I've got. This is the 330 and it can take up to a 15 horsepower, which is what I bought, because typically I thought bigger is better, and I actually think it was a mistake. I would much prefer a 10 horsepower. I think that's going to be much more balanced, and I don't know if you're like me, but if you are, you always typically think bigger is better. But 10 horsepower is definitely a better choice. Go for that if you can. Yeah, so look, I wanted to see if this would work as a tender and see how it can be mounted to these two davits. And it took a bit of thinking, and I couldn't find anything online, either with True Kit or just on forums. I couldn't find anybody that seems to have done it. People have spoken about doing it, but nobody's actually shown how to do it. So I think I've got a very good solution, and I thought I'd share it with you. So here goes. So all you're going to need to do this right is mostly Dyneema. So just 5mm Dyneema or Spectra, depending on which country you're in. And that will, I'll explain how to do that, but that will basically hold the horizontal movement, and it will hold lateral movement up and down. So then the only thing is then to suspend the boat. And it's got a solid transom. It's a stainless steel transom at the back, or maybe even aluminium, I don't know which one it is. And it's rigid, so it's easy. There's even a couple of suspension hooks there, so it's dead easy to fit a Spectra line. So it just leaves the front, because there's technically nothing really on the front that you can secure it with. I certainly wouldn't, on a long-term basis, consider hanging from any of these eyes at the front of your boat. I just don't think that they can be strong enough or robust enough to take the weight over a long period of time, and I wouldn't trust it, quite honestly. So what I did is I used this here. So it's approximately 3 meters, but you need to measure this yourself. And I've spliced an eye on each end. So you got an eye on each end, and that is going to be like a stirrup, and I'm going to feed that through the front of the boat. And then I've got a soft shackle to hold it all together, and then I've got another Dyneema line there, which is going to just give us a bit more rigidity, but I'll explain that in a few moments. So this is just the polyester covering for a very large line or rope, but I've just used it as a polyester line. And the reason I used this, and I didn't actually use a rope or a line, is because I want this to lie flat, which it does, as you can see. So it's a bit like a soft strap, which I think is a much better idea for this. It's going to be less abrasion. So the idea is just to simply thread it through these 4 eyes here. So we've got one, and then I'm going to reach over here and find the other one. There it is. And then I'm going to reach it around the front of the boat, and I'm going to find this other eye around here. There she is. There we go. And then there we have it. So now we've got this nice little cradle that's been made. I'll just I need 2 hands to do this, so I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to do the soft shackle and come back to you. Okay, so there you go. So you got this nice strap that runs around, soft shackle in the middle, and we've got another line which I've secured. It's a bit lazy for demonstration purposes. I'll show you. This is for later. So, but this is the lift mechanism. So, and I think this is the biggest challenge that you've got with this type of tender, having nothing structural at the front. In order to keep it safe and on davits, I think this is the best solution. And I just come back from a 1,000-mile passage to Gibraltar and back, from Palma to Gibraltar and back again. We had some pretty rough weather and it was rock solid. So I'll strap it all up and I'll show you how it all works. So that's the front. And the back is super simple, just a very short length Dyneema, and it's got a spliced eye in the middle there, and it's got 2 spliced eyes at the bottom. I've just put onto hard shackles rather. There it is, one there and one there. Just got to make sure it's the right length to give you the best lift and doesn't compromise your outboard at all. Okay, so here she is suspended. So the front is very lightweight, so you just pull her up by hand, and the back with the outboard motor needs a little bit more strength, so it needs a winch. But there you go, there's the soft shackle. It's pretty solid there. Well, what I like about this system is that none of these points here have got any real weight or load going through them at all. They are just to stop this cradle from slipping forward or backwards. Now, as you can see, she's pretty rockety at the moment. It's not a word, but you know what I mean. She's a lot of movement, so she's clearly moving sort of that way, but also this way. Yeah, so we need to secure her on all 3 axes. So she's lifted, that's one taken care of. So let me show you the other solutions here. So I find the best system to stop it from swinging from port to starboard, so the lateral movement, this one here, is simply to connect 2 lines, again to the transom. So one on port side, one on the starboard side, and then run 1 line to port, 1 line to starboard, and tension them all up. So that is her adjusted now. So I've just put some lines on. You can see this one runs directly under the tender, all the way to the other side, down here. So, and it's pretty solid now, and you can get a good view of this stirrup system, this cradle type system, and you can see there's just no load at all or undue stress at all on this system. So now she's lift and there's no movement this way. So now we just need to pull her into the boat so that she doesn't move away and, you know, bow and stern type motion. And this is very simple. So we've just taken 1 line. Again, that was the line you saw me with earlier from the soft shackle. And I've just put a line on here at the base of the davit with a shackle. I'm just going to simply tie around there, and I'm going to haul it in so that she's tight. And I'm going to do exactly the same from the back. Show you what this looks like. Okay, and there you have it. So I've just tensioned her up, which is absolutely solid now. So I've just taken that final line here from that very well used lift point on the transom at the rear. But it's got plenty of room, you know, so we've got the suspension laterally there, we've got the lift, and we've got it pulled in hard against the transom of the catamaran. So she's absolutely rigid now. Here's the front. We could have tightened that up a little bit more, but it's still very tight. Not going to go anywhere. I'm very happy with that. I could comfortably take her to a heavy sea now without any concern. But this is going to either throw around or work loose. So if anybody's got another solution or a better solution, let me know. Thanks.